of the serpent. They wanna do me like Martin Luther, crucify me like I'm Yahshua, but I'm dropping this gold like Mansa Musa and dodging these bullets like hallelujah.
Bobby Iceman Drake was born in Floral Park, Long Island, New York. His father was Irish-American Catholic and his mother was Jewish. Bobby's powers first manifested when he was dating Judy Harmon, when a local bully named Rocky Beasley liked Judy Harmon, who tried to harass Judy. Knowing Judy wasn't very good at defending herself, Bobby pointed at Beasley and wrapped him in a sheet of ice. Later, local citizens who heard about the incident came to look for the person one after another. The local sheriff had to put Bobby in jail. While Bobby was in a cell at the sheriff's department, the outer walls were blasted open. A man named Scott Summers walked in and offered to take Bobby with him. After Bobby rejects him, the two mutants engage in a brief fight, but it ends quickly with the arrival of Professor Charles Xavier. Bobby accepted the offer, leaving with Professor Xavier and Cyclops, then became the second member of the X-Men. He is later joined by Hank McCoy, Jean Grey, and Warren Worthington III as the founding members of the X-Men. Iceman remains self-conscious regarding the fact that he is the youngest member of the group. Appearing in his original snow-covered form, he first battles Magneto along with the rest of the team and later the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Not long after, he takes on a new ice-covered form. He then teams up with the Human Torch for the first time. The two would become close friends as time went on. He then battles the Juggernaut and is badly injured in his first battle against the Sentinels. He next battles Magneto by himself. During his original stint with the X-Men, Iceman pursues a relationship with Lorna Dane, aka Polaris, although the relationship does not last. She left him for Cyclops' brother Havoc. Iceman is among the original X-Men captured on the living island of Krakoa, which made to a new incarnation of X-Men, including Wolverine and Storm. That saved the original members with most of the original team. After that, he then quits the X-Men for a while. The original X-Men, including Iceman, reunites to form the superhero team X-Factor. With this new team, he encounters Apocalypse for the first time. During his time with the team, Loki captures Iceman, hoping to use him to gain control over the Frost Giants. Loki enhances Iceman's powers and then extracts them to restore the size of the Frost Giants. Iceman is rescued by Thor. Loki's tampering increases Iceman's powers to such an extent that he begins to lose control of his abilities. During a later battle with the Right, he is fitted with a power-dampening belt, which actually helps him control his abilities. Once able only to sheath his own body in a protective coating of ice, Iceman finds out he can encase the entirety of the Empire State Building. With time, Bobby gains sufficient control over his augmented powers and is able to stop using the inhibitor belt. Believing he has achieved his full potential, Iceman does not attempt to develop his abilities further. With X-Factor, Iceman then defeats Apocalypse's Horsemen. Iceman helps watch over many of the younger superheroes, something he once was. For a brief while, he also helps supervise the New Mutants and their sister team, the X-Terminators. Iceman also develops a romantic relationship with Opal Tanaka. After a session of ice sledding, she discovers threatening mail in her mailbox, a precursor to harassment by her cybernetically enhanced relatives of the Tatsu clan of the Yakuza, which Iceman helps her out with. Iceman rejoins the X-Men along with the rest of X-Factor. When he rejoined the X-Men, it seemed that he learned to control his powers and no longer needed the inhibitor belt. This made him believe he reached the limit of his powers. Iceman possesses the power to instantly decrease the temperature of ambient water vapor in his immediate environment to below 0 degrees Celsius, thereby freezing it into ice. He is able to make ice that will not break unless he wills it to. In this manner he is able to quickly form a great variety of ice structures, including projectiles, shields, ladders, baseball bats, etc. Iceman often makes ice slides which form rapidly beneath and behind his feet, moving him along the slick surface at high speeds. He is also able to form exceedingly complicated structures within relative short time, such as miniature cities. Originally, Iceman's own body temperature would lower dramatically when his powers were active, reaching -105 degrees Fahrenheit, -76 degrees Celsius, within a few tenths of a second. Now his body usually converts to organic ice. Iceman is immune to sub-zero temperatures. He is also able to perceive the thermal energy level of objects around him. Because cold is the absence of heat, Iceman does not actually emanate cold, rather, he decreases thermal energy. Iceman is an Omega-level mutant, and has powers that can influence the ecosystem of the entire world. Iceman has yet to tap into his full mutant potential, but over the years he has taken more interest in developing his abilities. In his early appearances, Iceman generally covered his body in a thick layer of what appeared to be snow, hence he looked more like a traditional snowman than an Iceman. Upon further training in the use of his powers, he was able to fashion an armor of solid ice around his body when using his powers, which afforded him some degree of protection against concussive force and projectiles. Later on, he manifested the ability to convert the tissue of his body into organic ice. He sometimes augments his organic ice form with razor-sharp adornments to his shoulders, elbows, knees, and fists. Iceman has also been able to move rapidly to another distant location while in his organic ice form, being able to deposit his bodily mass into a river and reconstitute his entire mass a great distance away in a matter of minutes, by temporarily merging his molecules with those of the river. On one occasion, Iceman suffered a severe chest injury while in his ice form and was able to heal himself by converting back into his normal human form. Iceman is also able to reconstitute his organic ice form if any part of it is damaged, or even if it is completely shattered, without permanently harming himself. He can temporarily add the mass of a body of water to his own, increasing his mass, size, and strength. He can survive not only as ice, but as liquid water and water vapor. He can also transform his body from a gaseous state back to a solid, although it is physically and mentally taxing. Iceman can also freeze seawater, as seen during the Operation Zero Tolerance story arc. While he usually does not use his powers in lethal ways, his powers are so vast that they extend to the molecular level, to the point that he can freeze all of the molecules of an object/being with a thought. He once froze every single molecule of water within the body of David Haller. Iceman is also able to dissolve his own icy constructs. Iceman's powers were pushed to their limit while possessed by Emma Frost, who used Iceman to discover the fate of her Hellions. During this time, Iceman was able to control all forms of moisture, freeze fluids inside people's bodies, travel as a liquid, solid, or gas. Not even the combined might of the X-Men Gold Team was able to stop Emma Frost in Iceman's body. Following this, Bobby confronted Emma about how she was able to use his powers so effectively. While together they made some initial progress, she refused to train him further. Instead, he turned to Storm because they like physique and intellect, has gone on to join the future version of the Brotherhood. Aside from his superhuman powers, Iceman is also a fair hand-to-hand combatant, and received combat training at Xavier's school as well as coaching from the Black Widow and Hercules while serving with the Champions of Los Angeles. Iceman has taken as much combat training as Cyclops or Beast.
The head of the serpent, they wanna do me like Martin Luther. Crucify me like I'm Yahshua, but I'm dropping this gold like Mansa Musa and dodging these bullets like hallelujah.